You've probably been hearing about business analysis, and maybe you've been hearing that business analysis roles help you cross into tech, they pay really well, and stuff like that. But let's say that your background is in customer service or finance or banking or healthcare or some other thing, and you're wondering, is business analysis for me? How can I cross into a business analysis role? That's what we're going to be discussing in today's video, and this is going to be an extensive one. I'll walk you through exactly what you need to know to cross into business analysis. Let's get right into it. So, let's begin by examining what business analysts really do. A business analyst helps organizations identify problems, gather requirements, and eventually make systems and processes work better. That is a simple version of what the business analyst does. But I'm going to put a link to a more extensive video where I talked about what business analysts actually do. Let me also mention that the role of a business analyst is different from the role of a data analyst. It is also different from the role of people who are into business analytics. Okay, it's necessary to mention that because when many people are asking about business analysis, they are really referring to maybe data analysis. And those two things are not the same. To get more clarity on that, you can watch my video on business analysis versus business analytics. Business analysts deliver process maps, user stories, wireframes, things like that. Those are the deliverables for business analysts, and there's a whole lot of documentation that is involved as part of the role as well. Now, why is it a good idea to transition into business analysis? First of all, it's a field that is not purely technical. It places premium on skills like communication, problem solving, and things like that. It's not completely technical. Secondly, there is growing demand for business analysts. There is demand in Canada, demand in the UK, demand in Nigeria, demand all around in Australia, in the US, in several countries. Business analysis is one field that has experienced growing demand over the years. There is also the bit about flexibility. Business analysis offers you the flexibility to work across different domains. So there are business analysts in finance, there are business analysts in healthcare, there are business analysts in e-commerce, in almost any industry that you can think of. This gives you a lot of places that you can work in, and you're definitely not limited to tech, although tech is also one of the biggest employers for business analysts. And then the last reason that I'm going to mention is the possibility for career growth. You can advance as a business analyst, you can become a senior BA, you can become a consultant, and you can be a principal BA and all of that. But apart from business analysis in itself, what many people also do is to diversify into related roles. So for example, you can become a product owner, you can become a project manager, you can become a product manager. Now, please note that these are separate roles, but because they are related, you find a lot of business analysts crossing into these other roles over time. So if you're getting started as a business analyst, are you starting from ground zero? Absolutely not. There's a good chance that you already have many of the skills that are required for business analysts. If you have some work experience, it's very likely that you would have developed a number of the skills. So for example, you're likely to have developed communication skills. Communication is essential to business analysis. So if you've developed great communication skills, both verbal and written communication, that would be indispensable for you as a business analyst. If you've also worked in areas like finance, operations, engineering, there's a good chance that you've developed analytical thinking. Analytical thinking is essential to business analysis. So if you know that you already have that, that's something that you've ticked off the list. Also, you're going to need process improvement. And if you have a background in HR or in operations, there's a good chance that you're already familiar with how processes are improved. And then if you've been in sales or managerial roles, there's a good chance that you already have experience of stakeholder management. Stakeholder management is definitely one of the most important skills that you're going to need as a business analyst. So, you should know that you're not starting from scratch. There's a good chance that what you just need to do is to repackage and repurpose your existing experience. Moving on, what are you going to need to learn to become a business analyst? You will need to learn things like elicitation techniques, essentially how you get requirements from the different stakeholders. You will need to learn a number of modeling techniques. So entity relationship diagrams for data modeling, use case diagrams, process maps, things like that. You're going to want to learn them. You would want to also learn about documentation techniques. So how you create business requirements documents, user stories, things like that. You would want to learn about that. To be able to get your job done, you would want to understand different tools like Jira, like Draw.io, or maybe Lucidchart or something like that. You'd want to know how to make use of those tools. You would also want to have familiarity with project environments. So if you're in a waterfall environment, what do you do? How do you navigate the environment? If you're in an agile environment, what does it imply? And what do you do as a business analyst in that kind of environment? So you want to learn all of that. And there are many more things that you need to learn to become a business analyst. But the good news is that for all the things that you need to learn, I have courses for you. So if you head over to businessanalysiscoach.com, you're going to find my courses. They're very affordable and you'll be able to become a business analyst by taking them. Now let us talk about the steps that you need to take to make the transition. So what exactly do you need to do? Number one, you would want to learn the fundamentals. Take a course. Like I said, if you head over to businessanalysiscoach.com, you're going to find my courses. You can take them. They will help you get started. Number two, you want to build a portfolio. For you to do well in the job interviews, you should be able to demonstrate not just theoretical knowledge, but also practical experience. You must be able to show that you've done stuff. And one of the ways to do that, especially when you're just getting started, is to build a portfolio. Here is the good thing. The portfolio doesn't have to be for real projects in the sense that you don't necessarily need to have been working with maybe some organization. Sometimes that portfolio can be what you did in the process of learning. But if you can show it very well and show how it applies to business analysis, you might have just enough knowledge to be able to get the job. So build a portfolio. Number three would be for you to volunteer. One of the ways to get started in the field is to volunteer. You might not get a company that is willing to pay you upfront, but if you're able to get a volunteering role, that can help you to build experience. It can help you to build and expand your portfolio. Also, that volunteering can be done maybe even within your current role. So if you work in a particular department in your organization, look out for tasks that are related to business analysis and volunteer for them. You would be surprised that way you would be building business analysis skills and ultimately you'd be able to transition into business analysis fully. Another thing you can do that can be very helpful is to get certified. So you should consider writing a certification exam. When you're just getting started, your best option might be the BCS Foundation Certificate in Business Analysis, or you might decide to go for the ECBA, the Entry Certificate in Business Analysis, which is offered by IIBA. Oftentimes it boils down to one of those two, either the IIBA certification or the BCS Foundation certificate. I made a video in which I compared BCS and IIBA, and you can watch that to get some more perspective on those certifications. And the final step that I would suggest for you to do is to network and apply smartly. Network with people who are already in the field, who can help to position you for a role or for some more tasks and experience. Network with them, okay? If you belong to a professional society, this can be very helpful for your networking, because you're going to get to participate in events, meet people, and all of that. So network, it's very essential for getting into a role. Also, don't just network, start applying. Don't wait until you have everything perfect, okay? Look for openings, start applying for them. Every rejection is a new lesson learned, okay? The rejection tells you something not to do. So don't be afraid of rejections. Start applying for roles. And finally, I'm going to talk about some of the common mistakes that you should avoid. So, to transition into business analysis, make sure you do not do these things. Number one, don't focus too much on certifications as against skills. So certifications are very important. I talk about certifications. I preach the gospel of certifications. And you'll see that I've made videos comparing different certifications and recommending certifications to you. But do not assume that certifications will cover for the absence of the actual skills. So don't prioritize certifications over the skills. You need the skills and then you need the certifications. Okay? Secondly, don't focus so much on technical jargon. It is good to understand the jargon and business analysis as a lingua. You should understand that lingua. You should be able to communicate with it. You should be able to speak it easily and freely. But do not focus so much on the terminologies that you do not understand what those things really mean. You should have deep understanding of the concepts and not just an overview understanding of terminologies. Also, do not make this mistake. Many people do not connect their past experiences with business analysis. And so when they get into interview rooms, they are lost because a question is being asked, maybe about a time in your career when blah, blah, blah happened. And many people actually have relevant examples, they have relevant answers to the question, but because they didn't really think through their past experiences and think in advance about how those past experiences relate with business analysis, they're not able to make the connection, and the interviewer cannot make the connection for you. So you find many people not being able to get the job, not because they don't have the relevant experience, but because they themselves are not selling it. They never took the time to see how that past experience relates with what they are applying for. And finally, don't make the mistake of expecting instant job offers. Some people are going to be lucky, but most people are going to find it to be a journey. It might not happen on day one. It might not happen within the first month. It might not happen within the first 3 months. But if you're consistent and if you do things right, you keep improving, you keep getting better, it will eventually happen. Okay, so don't expect instant results. Be mindful that it is a process. In closing, I want you to know that many of the people that you see working as business analysts today started exactly where you are. Many people, especially immigrants, They get into a new environment and they want to work in an area that is in high demand. And so many people say, I want to become a business analyst. But then they have to start from scratch. They have to learn things. They have to network. They have to do all of the things that I have mentioned so far. The reason why many of them are business analysts today is that they did those things. So you too can do it. It is doable. If you get started today, give it a few months. You'll find out that you've already covered most of the things on the list. But if you don't get started today, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 1 year from now, you'll still be at the same spot and you will be telling yourself that you will get started someday. So don't procrastinate. Get it started right now. Okay, like I told you, I have courses on businessanalysiscoach.com. So head over to businessanalysiscoach.com. You'll find my courses. They would help you to get started as a business analyst. Businessanalysiscoach.com. And if you check this channel, this YouTube channel, you will find lots of content for you and to help you advance in your business analysis journey. And all of that is free. Okay. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the like button, leave a like and leave a comment. Okay, turn on notifications. Let me know you're getting value from this. And watch my next video and the next one and the next one and the next one. I hope to see you in that next video. My name is Olumide. Bye for now.